Hello everyone, this is Persephone and I make this video because I see it as a growing epidemic and I used to have a friend that she was on an interracial and international marriage and AMWF marriage, and one of the reasons she is not, and I use past tense, is that her husband had a camgirl addiction. He was actually, I would say, internet porn addiction, because she caught him multiple times in the bathroom to have cam sessions with cam girls and to actually reject her sexually, to have cyber sex with cam girls until she couldn't take it anymore. And he was also wasting her money. He was a Japanese dude. So she divorced him, and in my opinion she did well, because that's abusive and disrespectful. The question is, and if you're not part of my channel and the usual crew that we have on board and you just found me because you have this problem, why did things get to that point? Why is your husband or your partner or your boyfriend seeing cam girls? That you have caught him with his phone on hand or with his laptop or whatever, and you're devastated and you don't know what's going on. And I say this being from the other side. So first of all, you have to understand that, especially when it comes to women, but also to men, 99% of the things that we have been taught about relationships and how men are is wrong. It's either incorrect because our mothers or female figures didn't know any better and they taught us things that victimized them, or because we come from cultures that have oppressive religions that they give all the power to men. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about religions here and get too specific. It's YouTube. Or you just have been like, you're a good, kind person and that's why you end up exploited. I'm going to say it bluntly. What do I mean by everything you know is wrong and you have been lied to? There is this belief that men seek a homely, nice, stable woman to start a home with. So if you're a decent girl and a nice girl and hardworking and study and you dress classy and modestly and you are into commitment and honesty. I saw a Facebook profile of a woman that she said recently, honesty in family come first. And I wanted to say, why don't you put a sign that says, looking for a psychopath or a narcissist to exploit her? It would be faster. This is a sad reality, but this is how it is. Men, I'm talking about alpha men, actually not even alpha men, because that behavior is very bitchy. Men who are actually average or above and they can actually land a woman, unlike the micro-penis slaves that I have, okay? Those men, they usually either draw a very clear line in their head or they're confused themselves and they don't understand it until it happens. For example, especially in Asia, when you want to have children, you want a homely woman to have children with, that she's going to be at home, she's going to be a good mom, she's going to raise your kids, and you're going to be safe and you're going to know that this woman is there and your kids are not going to end up filthy and feral. The problem with this woman is that because sexuality and attraction and seduction doesn't work this way, soon, and especially after a few births, unless you are very, very rich and you can provide for her to take care of herself, she becomes very boring. If you are in this situation and you're watching me, I'm really sorry for calling you boring. It's not me, it's how the men see it, okay? The selfish men. And because most men at this point, they have ended up either roommates or disrespectful, or they come from cultures that encourage disrespect, like against the Asian culture. Cheating in Asian culture is a shogunai type of thing, like it is what it is and it happens and that's about it. You're going to be cheated on and you're probably not even going to know about it. Okay, so one very easy way to cheat is with cam girls or with escorts or with something that you pay and you get it. And when this happens and the woman finds out, because she finds out that there's money missing or there are gifts or something, she's devastated, and rightfully so. So I'm going to tell you, first of all, right now, my belief that cheating is not about sex, it's about disrespect. And now you're going to say, if you're a guy watching me, but Persephone, how do you say such bullshit to women? My wife and I are on a dead bedroom and we haven't had sex in 14 years after she had the kids, and now we wait for our oldest Korean kid to go for his obligatory military service and then we're going to have sex, so what else could I have done? No, it's not that, because if you are that horny, you had the choice to divorce and find someone else, you had the choice to see couples therapy with your wife to see if things can resolve, you had the choice to see your wife, to ask your wife to see a psychologist or a doctor, maybe after the birth she has some kind of problem that makes sex painful. You had the choice to actually make more money so that your wife can go to the gym, can go to the hairstylist, can take care of herself. You had so many choices and you chose to look at her eye in the eye and lie. So that's about disrespect to me. It's not about sex, because I just solved the sex problem for you in multiple different ways. Cam girls, if you are new and you don't know what they are what I call digital geishas. They're supposed to provide companionship and entertainment and stroke a man's ego in a way that his wife doesn't do or doesn't do anymore. The thing is though, this is something that most men don't realize, or they get sucked in sooner or later, is that this is fake. This is a profession. Women do that with all of the men that they're actually tipping them, and it's not about the guy. After someone gets into the cam girling world and the online digital services world that is very interactive, and he ends up a session feeling good and his brain gets dopamine and endorphins and he feels like a guy again, he keeps coming back for more and more and more, because usually men who are like that, they avoid reality. It's very, very easy to keep paying for something and then justify to yourself and say, I didn't meet a woman, so it doesn't count. I didn't actually have sex, so it doesn't count. It doesn't harm anyone. So if you're here and you're watching this, I want you to understand, because I have many women who try to take it out on the cam girl. Cam girls do a job, okay? We don't want your fat, ugly, middle-aged, beer belly, penny-making man. I'm not saying that your man is necessarily like that, but I had women in the past who accused me that I'm going to steal the lady of the lakes man who is actually lady of the swamp, and the man is the orc of the swamp. Okay. It's very, very unprofessional for cam girls to be home wreckers and to break houses and to steal men. And most of the cases, they don't even know the man is married. If you have an actual home wrecker trying to wreck your home, that's a different story, and you have every right to protect yourself. I'm talking about now, in this case, the man is the problem. You understand? He's the one who gave you vows. He's the one who doesn't honor and respect you as he should. That doesn't mean that the woman is completely responsibility free. I say this because you understand that as an adult, you have to take part in what it means maintaining a relationship, which means essentially creating feelings in the man that they are insecurity and jealousy and stress. You're going to say, isn't that emotional abuse? Yes, maybe, probably, depending on how you do it, but it's also necessary. I'm going to use what I do as an example. You keep whatever works for you, you throw away the rest, like with everything we say. In all of my relationships, real life relationships, I'm not going to talk about online relationships here. Does the man know when he comes home if I'm home or not? Usually not. And if I'm home, he doesn't go when I'm going to leave, where I'm going to go, when I'm going to return. That doesn't mean that I live like a CIA spy. It means that I have a life outside of him that is not specific and solid. If a man knows that you're going to be home and it's as clear, as certain as the fact that the couch is going to be home, that's a problem. That makes you unattractive. Does the man know how my hair is going to look like? What kind of underwear I'm wearing? What kind of clothes I'm wearing? Again, no. And I'm not saying this just because of the wigs. I change my actual hair a lot too. And when I hear women saying, I have the same haircut for 12 years because I love it and it's short and practical, you're asking to be cheated on. Okay? Because there are men who have specific fantasies and specific fetishes, and I have heard guys who are telling me, I love high heels in a woman and I bought high heels for my girlfriend and she never wears them and she complains. If your man gets targeted by a woman who really wants to steal him, she's going to be wearing the high heels all the time and you're in a great disadvantage. So change yourself. Okay, I'm not just saying to adapt all the time to please a man, but change yourself. You shouldn't know how you look like all the freaking time. Thing number 3. Look good in general. What looking good means depends on a lot of things, depending on your race, because I have many people from multiple different races watching me, and I'm very happy for that, on your age, on your culture, on your profession, on your social circle. You have to get into a room, ideally, and other people to look at you, especially men, to turn heads. If you turn heads, you are in a good path, because do you know who else sees those heads turning? Your partner. And when you turn heads, this means you have choices. If you have choices, that keeps him away from cam girls, cam whores, and so on. Another thing that you need to know. Don't isolate yourself. I see women attending female-only gyms. I see women attending female-only activities. Yeah, any other way to make yourself predictable, boring, someone who is not going to stray. I'm not saying to act like a psychopath and triangulate men and have 5 different men messaging you every day who is going to take you to dinner. I'm just saying everything in moderation. You should be in an environment that there are also people of the opposite sex. A mixed gym, for example, a mixed swimming pool, something. Most women feel that you do the right thing and you're going to attract what you are. I used to believe that too when I was a teenager and a kid, like as a minor, but I'm still going to use it. I used to believe that and it destroyed my life. I used to think if I'm honest, I'm going to attract someone honest. No, you don't attract what you are. You attract what compliments you, or you attract whatever needs what you are. So people who want someone who is honest are usually narcissists. So if you are honest and giving and caring, you're going to attract someone extremely thirsty for someone honest and giving and caring. Do you know what those are? Emotional vampires. So I'm not saying that you should be a narcissist to repel a narcissist, although that's very effective. I'm saying that you should be aware of what you're attracting. Okay? When you're honest and nice and caring, give that just bit by bit. Get to know the person. Don't write on your Facebook like what I saw, honest, caring, family comes first. No. So you're telling to every potential predator on the internet that you're a victim. Don't do that. After you find out that your partner has been seeing camgirls, the first good thing to do is take screenshots and confront him about it. If you want to try to make an attempt to save the relationship. Personally, I would ditch him, but if you are involved and there are children involved, you are older, you want to try, I also understand that. You confront him in a way that he can't avoid the evidence. After that, you need to have a conversation about what's going on in the relationship and why he's acting the way he's acting. What is he missing? Listen to men when they talk. I know many women who say, I'm working for the relationship, and every time a man says something, they dismiss them. If what he wants is something completely unrealistic or bullshit or crossing your boundaries, you don't do it. Plain and simple. I don't believe in abusing yourself and not respecting yourself for anyone. If you can attend couples therapy, it's good to attend it. If you can't, because in many parts of the world it's expensive, you're going to have to help yourself. And if you feel that you need to take revenge, I don't believe in forgive and forget. You can find a way to take revenge. But the most important part is on his court, because you can do all of the things that I said, and if the man doesn't want to save the relationship, he's going to go back to the camgirls, like what happened to my friend and the Japanese guy, and what happened to Khloe Kardashian very recently, that I was watching what was happening with True's father. She's a gorgeous woman, she's a Kardashian, she's a millionaire, and she got cheated on again. Do you know why? Because the guy isn't invested in the relationship. So if someone isn't invested, let them go, you don't need them. I'm saying this because I see way too many women trying and trying and trying when the other person just isn't there. So when the other person isn't there, you're just hurting yourself. And if you do all the things that I told you in your next relationship, the chances of all of this happening minimize extremely. And if you want to be completely sure that nothing bad is going to happen, be the camgirl. If you are the camgirl, you're going to have a bunch of people constantly insecure, constantly worrying, and a ton of choices. You can replace anyone in any day. I'm not recommending to actually be a camgirl, but I'm just saying, sometimes if you live in a society where men are too toxic and men are too aggressive because of the whole cancerous Tinder culture, you join the dark side. Okay, for me that has done wonders to my self-esteem. To say to men I can replace you in less than an hour and actually mean it. Most of all, I don't want you to beat yourself up. I understand that the transition from the blue pill, the Disney fake bullshit we have been taught, to the black pill, which is reality, can be very, very hard, up to traumatic. Many times, even now, with all the work I've done with myself, I catch myself thinking, why the hell didn't I know those things 10 years earlier, 8 years earlier? Because there is a whole conspiracy and the whole agenda that they need to keep us in our place. They need to keep us in the homely role, and they force feed us lies that if you do what you're told and if you are a good girl, you are going to end up with a good husband and a good home. And then you see all the sluts and all the whores and all the women that you consider trustier, that they get married to wealthy men and they have good lives, and you're a good person and you're suffering. You're a leftover and you're wondering, how did this happen? I never tell people to deny themselves. You should be yourself, but you can just make some small improvements and small refinements that they're going to make a huge difference. You don't have to be the girl who sits down and gives upskirts, okay, if that's not your style. But you can actually go to the gym, you can start having a hobby and have a nice body, a toned body that it's still going to turn heads. The good thing about straight men is that most of them don't know fashion, don't know designers. If you wear something that compliments you, they're still going to look at you. And your partner is still going to notice. You don't want the Eurasian tiger and his wife situation where he says, she sits next to me and people think she's my cleaning lady because this is how unsexual she looks. You shouldn't be looking like the cleaning lady when you're not a cleaning lady. If you are the cleaning lady, that's a job, that's different. You wear your uniform and you should show it. But if you are a cleaning lady, you're not going on a date in your uniform. You're still going to wear a beautiful dress to go, right? Yet his wife goes out with cleaning lady clothes. Don't do that. Especially when it comes to Asia, this is not emphasized. I'm just saying, if your culture doesn't allow you to show skin or to wear tight clothes, you don't wear them. Safety above everything. But if you are, like my sister-in-law, she goes outside like an old dyke in California, that's unacceptable. You're going to get cheated on and I can't help you. I can't do magic with those things. Okay, you have to help me here. You have to attract self-respect, love energy, positive energy, things like that. So please don't take it out on the cam girls. Don't abuse the cam girls. They're just doing a job and they're the symptom of the pathology in your relationship and not the actual problem. Because the same things they said and they did with your guy, they can do it with 10 others and probably they don't even remember that guy. And even if they do, it doesn't mean anything. They're in a different continent, most likely. Okay, I'm not saying this to say that it's okay. Cheating is never okay. You being devastated is never okay. But the person, the way I see it, the person who gave the vows, the person who has a wife or a partner, that person is the person responsible to keep the relationship. Okay. And personally, when I see people who are married or who are cheating, I don't want to work with them. Okay. And I have asked many of them, there was specifically a guy that I will never forget, that he had, that's the last thing I'm going to say in this video, he had a girlfriend that she was gorgeous. He was contacting me on Instagram, and I had an Instagram at that time. Right now I don't have one, I plan to make one. And he kept contacting me and I checked his, and he had the nerve to contact me from his real Instagram and with his real information, and his girlfriend that she could be a model. She was some kind of Russian, Ukrainian girl and she could be a model. We're talking about that pretty. And I said, why are you contacting me when you have such a gorgeous woman by your side? And he said, you know, she's boring. She's always there, she begs to marry me and she doesn't do the things I want her to do sexually, so I can't, I have to get my needs met elsewhere. And I told this person that I don't want anything to do with you, and when I see the girls and I can find their social media, usually I send screenshots of those conversations. Yeah, before you call me an evil bitch, I don't care. I don't want this woman to marry this man and to end up exploited for the rest of your life. Okay, consider it Eastern European solidarity move. So please don't be the woman, the pick-me chick and the Vera who begs to get married, who begs to be in a relationship, who is going to always be there like a couch, homely, nice, forgiving, because all of those things are the spiritual equivalent of Crocs. Okay, and Crocs aren't sexy, you know what they are. I mean, Crocs, those slippers that you wear them and it's a guarantee you'll never have sex again, okay? So please don't be that. It's up to you to highlight your good points in your body, your makeup, your hair, and most importantly, your attitude. If you take two women, one of them is average and has very good and strong mental game, and the other is a model and she's desperate to get married, guess who is going to be the one who is going to be cheated on? Like I said, look at the Kardashians. They have everything and there is so much cheating going on. Because when you are trying to match, there is a lot of imbalance, okay? And before you say, Persephone, you're talking about all of that stuff, but what about Eurasian tiger that he accuses you of being a stalker? Eurasian tiger is a closeted homosexual, that's a different agenda, and I plan to make a video about straight people who have been involved with closeted homosexuals in the future, because that's an epidemic and he shouldn't be using women to cover his homosexuality. Thank you for watching.